Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Frisco. It is Thursday, the 29th of January. This is CTV News. Tonight, arrested and charged, the stepfather of the missing Sullivan children accused of crimes against an adult. Left in the cold, blood donations down thanks to the wintry weather. And he got the call. A former Cape Breton goalie coach earns a position with the Habs.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Bruce Frisco.
Good evening. We begin tonight with a tense but successful rescue operation in Nova Scotia's Kings County this evening. Emergency crews were dispatched to reports of 2 people and a dog stuck at the bottom of a cliff in the Scotts Bay Cape Split area. Crews managed to speak with the pair by phone by yelling, but they were unable to actually see them. And complicating matters, the high tide was coming in at 9 p.m. Rough, heavy terrain, packed snow made a rope or vehicle rescue unwise, so a helicopter was dispatched from Greenwood. 2 technicians were lowered with a basket, and a successful rescue was completed. Multiple agencies were involved in that operation tonight. The stepfather of the missing Sullivan children in Nova Scotia stands accused of allegedly assaulting an adult woman tonight. Police arrested 34-year-old Daniel Robert Martel of Lansdowne on Monday, January 26th, around 11:30 a.m. He is charged with assault, sexual assault, and forcible confinement. Court documents say the victim was an adult female, and the alleged incidents occurred on Gairloch Road in Lansdowne on December 1st, 2024. That's about 6 months before the children vanished from their home. Martel has been a very public face of the high-profile story. He was living with their mother when the children disappeared last May. He has spoken with reporters on multiple occasions and insists he's done everything investigators have asked him to do. But he's also complained he's felt like he's been living under a microscope, an unfair cloud of suspicion, especially online. The Sullivan case, of course, made headlines around the world. Police have conducted multiple extensive searches, including the use of cadaver dogs, but they've yet to find any trace of the missing 4- and 6-year-olds. Martel has been released on a number of conditions due in Pictou Provincial Court on March the 2nd, and we should add none of these allegations have been proven in court.
Get the Maritimes top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
It seems there are tough days and tough choices ahead for New Brunswick. That's according to the Premier in her State of the Province address tonight. Susan Holt didn't say just how high the deficit has become, but did tell the audience of about 1,000. The province will be presenting options to the public next week on some of the difficult decisions ahead. That's a quote. Speaking to reporters after the speech, the Premier said she's already asked the civil service to try to find savings or things that could go, but she insists not everything is on the table.
Like an increase to the HST, as was just described. We are not looking at increasing costs to New Brunswickers, at raising their taxes. We're trying to reduce costs for New Brunswickers. We're trying to make life more affordable here. So we're looking for the kinds of savings or the kinds of opportunity to generate new revenue that aren't on the backs of New Brunswickers.
Holt was at the First Ministers meetings in Ottawa today and almost didn't make it back in time to make this speech because her flight was delayed. However, as luck would have it, New Brunswick company Cook Aquaculture had previously chartered a flight from Ottawa to Fredericton, so the Premier hitched a ride. For the record, she said the province will be paying for her seat on that flight, and in turn, the company has pledged to donate that money to a local food bank. A warning today about the need for rapid transit from the mayor of the region's largest city. In the State of the City address today, Andy Fillmore suggested the worsening traffic is going to wind up hurting the local economy unless steps are taken. CTV's Jesse Thomas has more.
Traffic congestion in Halifax is no longer just an inconvenience, it's becoming a threat to doing business downtown.
Companies are fighting to get their employees back in the office for all the benefits of being in an office. And then you factor in the fact that now, commute that may have taken 20 minutes 3 years ago is now taking 50 minutes.
Halifax Mayor Andy Fillmore told a room of commercial real estate owners, developers, and investors that congestion was at record levels and is no longer just an issue on the Halifax Peninsula.
Same goes for downtown Dartmouth, but same is also true of Hammonds Plains Road and Clayton Park and West Bedford and even the Eastern Shore.
Mayor Fillmore argues the way out is a bus rapid transit system designed to be fast and comfortable and get more people out of cars.
I want you to imagine dedicated bus lanes, fewer stops, express buses coming in from outlying regions, a chair that reclines, imagine maybe a table that folds down. You can put your coffee and your laptop on.
That seems far away for commercial property owners where gridlock is already putting pressure on their daily business and warn it's only getting worse.
I think it will affect, people making decisions whether to locate downtown.
And Halifax Council is going through a cost-cutting budget review process right now, and all major projects are under scrutiny, like the multi-million-dollar redevelopment of the Halifax Forum behind me here, which the mayor wants to see turned into housing instead of a hockey facility. Still, Fillmore says they have to move on rapid transit now, and there's federal funding for it.
I had the CEO and CFO of the Canada Infrastructure Bank in my office in the fall talking about that exact thing, about how they could help us fund bus rapid transit.
But for the business community, these gridlock solutions can't come fast enough. Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Halifax.
A sizable police presence in the Westfall area of Dartmouth this evening. RCMP say they responded to reports of shots fired in the parking lot of a grocery store on Highway 107. Nobody was injured. Police believe the incident was isolated. They also do not believe there is any risk to public safety. The investigation, though, very much ongoing. A well-known former Nova Scotia politician has died. 1997 in a by-election and then re-elected in Cumberland North 4 more times. Successful dairy farmer, he went on to serve as minister of a number of portfolios, including agriculture and fisheries, economic development, human resources, natural resources, and energy. Fage was expelled from the PC caucus in 2007 after being convicted of leaving the scene of an accident. He died in a Halifax hospital on Tuesday. Ernie Fage was 72. Our recent bouts of snow and cold have put much stress and attention on Nova Scotia's power grid. Today, we got a tour of a new facility the utility will lean on to store electricity and help to keep the grid more stable. CTV's Hafsa Arif has details.
From above, it looks a bit like an industrial park dropped into the woods, with rows of steel containers sitting in snow. But inside these boxes is electricity, stored, managed, and ready to move when needed most.
Being used every day through our peak, as well as supporting grid reliability.
These are Nova Scotia Power's first 2 grid-scale battery sites. It stores electricity generated during peak hours, often from wind, which the batteries then release during peak demand.
It definitely helps manage costs as the batteries are able to charge off-peak when there's excess renewable energy available.
Each site can deliver enough electricity to power 40,000 homes. And during recent cold snaps, Nova Scotia Power says it made a noticeable difference. 2 50-megawatt sites definitely adds a large amount of energy that can support the grid during those times. Basically charged. They're being managed at the control center. The price tag for these battery sites is $238 million. While much of the cost is covered by Ottawa and other partnerships, some portion of the cost will fall on ratepayers. But that will be first approved by the Nova Scotia Energy Board. They're essentially supporting the energy transition to 80% renewables targeted for 2030. Each battery is expected to last about 20 years. A third site is under construction in White Rock near Wolfville, bringing the province's total grid-scale battery capacity to 150 megawatts. Hafsa Arif, CTV News, Halifax.
It was a big night at the Nova Scotia Sports Hall of Fame.
So proud of you. and we're so glad everybody could come here tonight to celebrate the newest member of the Order of Canada, ladies and gentlemen.
Stakeholders and partners gathering to celebrate Ellie Black's induction into the Order of Canada. Ellie, one of Canada's most celebrated and recognized gymnasts, of course, having competed at 4 Olympic Games. She's trained her whole career in Halifax, proudly calls Nova Scotia home. This was a first look inside the new Hall of Fame as well, which is slated to open to the public in summer of this year. Ellie Black's official induction ceremony in Ottawa will happen sometime within the next year. She is, by the way, the second youngest person to receive the honor. The first was Terry Fox. Still to come tonight, Kaylin's full forecast, and we'll explore why more and more Canadians are feeling pessimistic about our long-standing relationship with the United States. Coming up next, though, the gift of life interrupted.
Across the country, due to the weather impacts, we lost about 1,500 donations.
Turns out our weather of late has resulted in some critical shortages at Canadian Blood Services. That's next. Stay with us.
With Aaron and Peter. Bad behavior on airplanes. We know you have a story, and we want to talk about it tomorrow at 7.
And congratulations to our latest Password to Paradise winner, Taylor Murphy. Your turn tomorrow.
So the winter weather of late has been taking a toll on blood donations across the Maritimes. The cancellations, in fact, have been leaving Canadian Blood Services short on the gift of life. CTV's Josh Smith reports.
Earlier this week, the Maritimes saw severe winter weather conditions that caused widespread disruptions, including blood donation clinics.
Across the country, due to the weather impacts, we lost about 1,500 donations.
Out of those donations missed this week, 145 of them were from New Brunswick.
So these types of impacts really impede the way that we can support our hospitals and then patients that rely on blood products.
Despite the challenges, some donors are still making the trip in.
It's a piece of cake, save lives. People need blood. So when they have accidents or operations, yeah.
I've been doing it for over 36 or 37 times, and it doesn't hurt, and anything to help, another patient.
Canadian Blood Services says there's currently a need for O-negative blood.
So any patient needing emergency treatment requires O-negative blood. And because such a small number of people in the population have that blood type, it's critical that we recruit them and have them donate as much as possible.
Officials say they're in need of new donors.
And it's just a great way to give back to the community. It doesn't take more than 45 minutes to donate, and the staff here are fantastic. The actual donation itself is only about 5 to 10 minutes, and one donation can save 3 lives.
With more winter weather possibly on the way next week, officials say the need for new donors will only grow in the weeks ahead. Josh Smith, CTV News, Moncton.
Thank you, Josh. Time for a quick little break here, but when we come back, it's your complete maritime weather forecast. And yeah, that system is still heading our way for the weekend. Kaylin has all the details coming up. Okay, it's Thursday night, 29th day of January. I have heard a few other, professionals or semi-professionals referring to this thing on Sunday as a bomb.
Yes.
Is that something you would say?
Yeah, so that comes back to the meteorological term. It's been in use, I think, since the 70s, if I can remember. It's called bombogenesis. It refers to a low-pressure system, which are our storm systems, that deepens rather quickly in a small amount of time. They actually set a criteria for it. If the central pressure of the low falls by more than 24 millibars in 24 hours, then it's considered to have undergone this explosive cyclogenesis, or being referred to as a bomb cyclone. A lot of our nor'easters that come up the eastern seaboard actually do this because they're in a really favorable spot to intensify rapidly between the colder air over the continent and the milder air over the Atlantic. And that's what this one is going to be doing as well this upcoming weekend. Yeah. Okay. Now, thankfully, nothing like that in our forecast for tonight around the Maritimes. Instead, some increase in cloudiness and some flurries for some areas. We do have a stalled weather front that is sitting to the north of the region. In the forecast for tonight and for tomorrow then, and locations in the Maritimes that are more likely to see flurries include northern and western areas of New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, Cape Breton, and the southwest Nova Scotia. In Cape Breton, late in the day on Friday, there is a chance of some snow squalls developing up in the Cape Breton Highlands. Winds in the forecast for tomorrow will be out of the northwest, and they'll have some gusts like today between 30 and 50 kilometers per hour, so blustery at times again and colder because of that. Speaking of cold, a lot of low temperatures tonight in the Maritimes will fall into range around -12 to -17. Some coastal areas in Nova Scotia with some lows between -8 and -10. Northern areas of New Brunswick for tomorrow, coldest in the northwest with highs around -11. In the northeast between -5 and -8. Central and southern areas of New Brunswick with high temperatures between -7 and -10. Prince Edward Island for tomorrow with high temperatures around -6, -7 for most communities. It'll be cold in Cape Breton. Sydney with a high of around -5, -7 at Badek, and -5 at Inverness. On the north shore of Nova Scotia, high temperatures between -6 and -8. On the eastern shore, mostly around -6. -8 for Truro for tomorrow, -6 for the city centers, Halifax and Dartmouth. It is cold for the Annapolis Valley with a high of around -8. And then on the south shore of Nova Scotia, most high temperatures between -6 and -8. Now back to the potential for that nor'easter at the end of the weekend into the start of next week. A special weather statement has been issued for the province of Nova Scotia. Snow potential for parts of that province, 15 to 30 centimeters. Could be accompanied by some wind gusts between 60 and 80 kilometers per hour. Please pay close attention to your forecast there for that period, Sunday afternoon into Monday. And also keep tabs on your forecast as well for Prince Edward Island and southern areas of New Brunswick. Not completely out of the woods yet for some impacts when it comes to the snow and the wind. So for New Brunswick in the forecast, we've got that snow developing for southern parts of the province, at least on Sunday, maybe ongoing into Monday, accompanied by gusty winds. Tuesday, a mix of sun and cloud. Sunshine for Wednesday of next week, and then snow possible on Thursday. Here we are for Nova Scotia, and in the outlook for the start of the weekend, it's cold with a mix of sun and cloud, some isolated flurries, and then on Sunday, late in the day, that's when that snow begins to move in. Weather conditions get worse into Sunday evening and Sunday night. That's when both the snow and the wind ramp up, though we could have some lingering issues when it comes to both snow and gusty winds during the day on Monday. After that, it's a chance of flurries on Tuesday, Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud, and a chance of flurries on Thursday of next week. For Prince Edward Island, start of the weekend on Saturday, mix of sun and cloud, highs around -7. On Sunday, it's increasing cloudiness during the day. Weather conditions get worse Sunday night. That's when it's expected to become snowy and windy for parts of the province, especially in the east of Prince Edward Island. And similar conditions continuing into Monday. After that, a chance of flurries on Tuesday, Wednesday, mix of sun and cloud, and a chance of flurries on Thursday of next week. Bruce.
You're the bomb.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Kaylin's Wake Up Weather still to come. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
A new study suggests the majority of Canadians are approaching the year ahead feeling uneasy about our relationship with the United States. Perhaps not surprisingly, the survey also found that 2/3 of Canadians give Donald Trump a failing grade for his first year in office. CTV's Avery McRae has more now on the spiking skepticism.
The seaside town of St. Andrews thrives off the traffic of American tourists each summer. While people here still welcome Southern travelers, families like Brian Owens aren't as eager to return the favor since Donald Trump returned to office.
The only time I've been to the States was for transferring through on a flight, and it was a little nerve-wracking going through customs because you never know what's going to happen.
It's concerning a lot. It reflects history in a way that makes me a bit nervous.
A new poll published by Angus Reid found the majority of Canadians are worried about what's to come in 2026 as it relates to the two countries' relationship. 79% of respondents say they are more fearful about the year ahead, leaving just 21% feeling more hopeful of what's next. Retired political science professor David Johnson says Donald Trump has a lot to do with it.
He is economically waging war against this country with tariffs. And I think people are feeling that.
The raids carried out by ICE are a big driver behind the added eyes, which as recent as yesterday were conducting operations in the state of Maine. But today, Maine Senator Susan Collins posted an update, letting people know ICE has ended its enhanced activities in the state of Maine.
I think a lot of New Brunswickers will breathe a sigh of relief to hear that.
ICE is dealing with immigration and customs enforcement, people looking at people, going after people who are seeking to get into the United States illegally.
That doesn't mean Canadians are quick to want to book a trip. Avery McRae, CTV News.
Thank you, Avery. Time for one final break tonight. Coming up, another maritime hockey dream comes true. First, though, it's your wake-up weather. Here's a new shot for you, a live shot from Halifax, where it's currently -11. Kaylin's wake-up weather is coming up next. Okay, just like that, it's Friday morning. Let's kick it off with the wake-up weather and Kaylin.
Yeah, another cold morning for the Maritimes. Temperatures down in the -teens to start the day. More cloud cover around tomorrow than there was today. And underneath that cloud cover, there will be some areas of flurries, a few parts of the Maritimes. So the flurries will be a little bit more persistent, a little bit more widespread through the day on Friday. Include northern areas of New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, Cape Breton, and around the southwest of Nova Scotia. Cold during the afternoon. High temperatures several degrees below zero, and once again there'll be a breezy northwest wind around. Bruce.
All right, thank you, sir. Well, we have another big piece of hockey news that comes with a maritime connection tonight. As CTV's Ryan McDonald shows us, when the Montreal Canadiens changed goalie coaches yesterday, they hired a guy whose dream of reaching the NHL started to take flight in Cape Breton.
Stepping onto the ice as the Montreal Canadiens' new goaltending coach yesterday was a moment decades in the making for Marco Marciano, a man whose journey to the NHL has deep roots in Cape Breton.
Ever since Marco moved in with us when he was in his early 20s, he's been a really hard worker and been a great goalie coach.
Janelle Hawkins and her family billeted Marciano more than 20 years ago when he was goaltending coach for the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles. One of his protégés and housemates at the Hawkins residence was a guy named Marc-Andre Fleury.
Marc-Andre went to the NHL and then came back a few months later, and they were both under the same roof, which is kind of an interesting story because now look at them, you know.
I've known Marco since I've started with the Eagles probably 18 years ago.
Cape Bretoner Scott Guthrow reached the American Hockey League as a goalie coach and worked alongside Marciano with the Eagles when they were younger. He says his friends, many years paying his dues with the Habs AHL affiliate in Laval, have paid off.
For him to get the call now just shows his character and the perseverance that he had.
To boot, Marciano was born and raised in the Montreal area, where the Hawkins recently visited him and his young family. With his 44th birthday coming up on Monday, getting the NHL promotion in his hometown seems like an early present.
I think that was always the dream, but I mean, I would say it was pretty far off when he first started, but he worked for it, and here he is.
And it's another reason, perhaps, for his old friends here on the island to watch Habs games. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Sydney.
As if they needed another reason. Okay, that's your late news for this Thursday night, Friday morning. Just a reminder, if you joined us a little late tonight, don't worry. You can always get another look at any of our stories, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. It is, after all, your home for news. I'm Bruce Frisco. Thank you for staying up late with us tonight. Have a good evening, and we hope to see you again tomorrow for Friday.